Hello everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave with your daily update for Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. I have something I want to look at on Bitcoin today. It's, well, two things actually. This candlestick here that completed yesterday is a really nice looking bullish hammer candlestick pattern. That's a bullish reversal pattern, and it's coming in the context of very strong support, about 29,000. So this is very bullish for the very short term at least, if not the longer term. Let's have a look and see if it has support from volume. Yes, it does. That is really good to see, especially for a crypto. These guys can be a bit slow off the lows, making the lows a lot harder to identify than highs. So it doesn't come in the context of an extreme trend. I use ADX as a trend indicator, and it's really important to use, I think, because the market's only ever going to be doing one of two things. It's going to be trending, either up or down, or it's going to be consolidating, and you want to know what state the market's in. So ADX is a beautiful indicator for that. If it turns up again, it will indicate a downward trend because the negative DX line's above the positive, but at this stage, with ADX declining, there's no clear trend. It hasn't managed to catch up from the fact that at this high back here, ADX indicated there was an extreme trend, and now as price is falling, the net positive DX line has dropped, the negative DX line has risen, and the ADX line has declined. So it's setting itself up for a signal, but no signal at this stage. It's not coming in the context of oversold RSI either. It's coming in the context of money flow reaching oversold and then exhibiting bullish divergence with price on a closing basis. The close for price here, $29,216.80, and yesterday's now formed a pivot. Looks like it's going to form a pivot. The close, 29,182.05. So price is closed lower, money flow is higher. So there's some good bullish divergence after money flow reached oversold. So in that context, I will give this hammer candlestick pattern quite a lot of weight. Now, depending upon your risk appetite, you might want to wait for this channel that contains this bearish pullback to be breached. I have a conservative definition of a breach because I like to manage risk quite carefully. I tend to have conservative definitions. My definition of a breach is a full candlestick of movement in the opposite direction, so a green candlestick outside and not touching the trend channel. So if we see tomorrow print a green candlestick above this channel, I'll have some reasonable confidence that this bearish pullback is over and the next bull run for Bitcoin is underway. Now, I can't give you my Elliott Wave count for Bitcoin. That's a subscription on my website, but I will point out these technicals that I'm looking at for Bitcoin today. Hammer candlestick pattern, it's coming in the context of money flow oversold with bullish divergence, and for risk management, you might want to wait before you have confidence that this low is in place to have this trend channel breached. Just really quickly, before I get into Ethereum, I just want to remind you that on my website, we're analysing gold 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. The analysis is very in-depth. We give you a full daily wave count for gold, supported by classic technical analysis, a range of signals there. It's done by Jack Frost with my full support. So click on the link below if you want to go and check that out. On Ethereum, the wave count sees a third wave at primary degree in a very, very early stage, with intermediate wave 1, the first 5 up, and primary 3 incomplete. Primary 3 may only subdivide as an impulse. I'll label that intermediate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Within intermediate wave 1, I have minor 1 and 2 and minute 1 and 2. I've drawn a base channel around minute wave 1 and 2. You draw a base channel from the start of 1 to the end of 2, a copy on 1. Yesterday, price found support beautifully at that channel. Let's look at this on the daily chart. Now, you use a base channel to show where subsequent second wave corrections may find support or resistance. For a bull market, they may find support. So let's look at that. Here it is on the daily chart. So we've got a lower degree second wave. Minuet is 1 degree below minute, and that's found support beautifully at the lower edge of this channel. And what I want to draw your attention to Ethereum to today is this candlestick pattern, which might be forming on the daily chart. This would be a morning doji star, and quite a nice looking one too. This is the current session though. It's incomplete. So if this current session for the 8th of August closes within or beyond the body of the 6th of August, then we will have this 3 candlestick pattern, a morning doji star. Let's see what context that's coming in. The doji part of the candlestick, a red candlestick, did have a push from volume. We often see a little spike, sometimes a large spike, or at least some increase in volume at the end of movements for cryptocurrencies. So that's good. We don't know what the volume for the current session is. If that shows an increase in volume beyond yesterday, that's going to be really bullish. So keep an eye on how this current session closes. I'll look at that tomorrow with you. It's coming in the context of a downward trend, but not an extreme downward trend. Now, these shorter term pullbacks will not always indicate extreme trends before they're over. So that's not necessarily bullish, but it's not a concern for the bullish case. I'd like to see it extreme, but it's not, and that's okay. It comes in the does not come in the context of RSI reaching oversold. It doesn't come in the context of money flow reaching oversold either. And again, if this had reached oversold, I'd have more strength in a bullish case, but the fact it didn't reach oversold isn't a grave concern. But interestingly, it does come in the context of a little bit of bullish divergence between price and money flow. The close for price here, 1839.06, and the close for price here on the doji part of the morning star that might be forming, 1827.07. So price has closed lower, money flow is higher, so there's a little bit of bullish divergence there. That supports a bullish case. So watch carefully. My conclusion for Ethereum today, watch carefully the close of the current session. If it has an increase in volume beyond the previous session here, then have reasonable confidence in this bullish candlestick pattern. That's telling us that there may be a trend change. When you put that in context of price bouncing up off support of this base channel, the picture for Ethereum for the short to mid term, from my analysis, looks pretty bullish. Moving on to XRP, the wave count for XRP sees XRP in a third wave. I'm at primary degree. I'm going to ride this one all the way up. I'm going to cover this every day nearly, because this is one of my favorites, and I've loaded up a little bit on it. I began buying this one back in 2019, and I think every single purchase I've made at this stage is now profitable, but I'm waiting for my exit, probably for the end of primary 3, but maybe cycle 3. For XRP, I have cycle wave 1, 2, cycle 3, 4, 5 unfolding. So I'm looking for the end of primary 3, and depending how old I am, I'm in my 50s now, so depending what I'm doing with my life, I might exit at primary 3 or I might exit at cycle 3. We'll see how long this one takes. So for the shorter picture for XRP, I see minor 1, 2, and then minute 1, 2. Now the structure of minute wave 1 was a leading expanding diagonal. Second wave corrections following first wave leading diagonals are commonly very deep, but this one wasn't very deep. It only reached just below the logarithmic function of the 0.382 Fibonacci ratio. Sorry, saying that a little bit fast. Trying to get this done in under 10 minutes. So, my bottom line for XRP, we might be seeing a candlestick pattern here, also maybe a morning doji star forming. We need to wait for the current session to close and see how that closes. And then I want to see a channel breach. Now let's go to the technicals. I've copied that channel over here. I've made it a different color to my support and resistance lines. There's pretty strong support below if it does continue to fall at 55 cents, but if it can break out of this channel, I would expect it to move up, and next resistance is about 83 cents. If this current session here, let's expand this out and get rid of that so we can see it. These 3 candlesticks, again, a morning doji star. Watch how the 8th of August closes. If the close is well within the body or beyond the body of the 6th of August, and particularly if it has pushed from volume beyond the 7th of August, if the current session shows an increase in volume, that would complete a morning doji star. That would be a bullish reversal signal. But for XRP, because I've got a little concern about the structure of minute 1 and the following depth of minute 2 not fitting within a normal expectation, and because there's a ways to go before this second wave reaches the lower edge of this base channel, I'm less confident about this one. This one I really would want to wait for a breach of this downward sloping channel before I have confidence that this low for XRP for the short to mid-term, 7th of August, is intact and is going to be held. That's it with my quick daily update for you. Let me know how you're finding these little updates, and if you have any new ideas for me, or if you want me to do this daily update a little bit differently, let me know. I am totally open to suggestions. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support.